This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you.
That belongs in a museum.
So do you.
That clip right there is classic. And if you're trying to figure out how to make your figures look like they belong in a museum, then this display option may be for you. We'll see how it looks. I haven't seen it for myself yet, only in pictures on the website. These display stands come from acrylicbases.net. And I was able to buy one for all of these 6 figures plus the Ark. There's one that I'm missing for the Indiana Jones map room from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But all 6 of these plus the Ark have stands. So, looking a little bit like a pile of strange treasure, there are the stands that I got. And let's take a look at one of these characters in a stand. We'll go ahead with Sallah. I think this has been done with all of the right details. I mean, you've got the movie that it's from, you've got the character's name, you've got the place for the accessories, you've got him in his spot with his 2 feet in place, and it looks really cool doing it, you know. So if you're really wanting to dress up your Adventure Series collection and show off some of those accessories that, you know, you might actually be afraid of losing and stuff like that, this is a cool way to do it so far. We'll take a look at the other stands, but this is pretty awesome. Now, a couple of notes. You may want to use a toothbrush to brush off the backside of these engravings, because this is acrylic, and it comes with this film on it that's going to keep it from getting scratched. So you have to remove that, and there's going to be some dust in those crevices. So I just figured it would probably be a good idea to use a toothbrush and try to dust that out. And I think the result's pretty good. So there you go. Let's take a look at some of the other display stands. One small note about the feet. When I was putting the feet in, I actually had a little bit of a rough time putting the feet in. And as you might be able to see here, let me go ahead and push in a little bit more. The feet, I've gotten a little bit chewed up from trying to put it in the sharp acrylic holes here. Word to the wise, it does seem like putting the toe in first works best. So maybe you won't get your feet as chewed up as mine have gotten, but I'm not too worried about that. But just word to the wise, if you're trying to keep your figure mint, this might be something that the creator of acrylicbases.net could update and actually do a rounded insert edge here so that it wouldn't necessarily chew up the feet simply because of the sharp edge. So, word to the wise. And the heels are a challenge to get in. Keep at it. It'll work. I was able to get it done. And you will be able to too. All right, so here's that film that I was telling you about. It does come with a film on it to protect the acrylic. So you just peel that off. There you go. This one is for Marion. And if you can see here, it looks good. I'm just thinking that there's still some dust inside the engraving here, so I'm just going to brush that out. It's kind of like you're a little bit of an archaeologist, right? Oh, and some of that plastic was still on there, that film. And if you can tell, there's some dustiness on there now. Just wipe that off. All right, there we go. Again, I'm not necessarily seeing any damage here, but I'm not looking super close. But because these are sharp acrylic edges, and this is soft plastic that's painted, you know, just be aware that some of this could get a little bit marked up when you're trying to fit it inside the mold here, but you know, the fact that it does show like that is pretty darn cool. Hopefully I can get this to stay. There we go. Got a little mark in here or something. I don't know what that is. But there's Marion's pan. And then a cool thing on this is, I think this is where the monkey's tail is going to hook on. That is looking pretty darn cool. That little peg for the monkey is definitely a very clever way to get this monkey to display. So my hat's off to Robert Mays over there at acrylicbases.net. And Arnold Toht from Raiders of the Lost Ark, who unfortunately here is having to hold his own head because this display stand actually is incomplete. I verified on the web, as you can see here in this picture. It's missing the shelf for the head. So here is Arnold Toht holding his own head. A cool stand, nonetheless. I am going to reach out to the website and see if they can't give me the replacement part for that. And the main antagonist from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Rene Bellock, in his ceremonial attire from the scene where he tries to claim the power of the Ark for himself. I really like the accessory plate there. It really shows that staff nicely. There are a couple of possible issues. Rene's standing there fine. His feet don't actually fit all the way into the bottom of the base here. They are kind of platformed on the back a little bit. So it's holding him securely enough, but I really tried to force the feet down there, and I still couldn't get the feet to go down completely flat. Also, on the accessory plate, the cut is a little too short for the staff, so the plastic of the staff bottom here actually bends out. So it would have been nice if I could have just, put the whole thing in. I could pop it out a little further and make that bend not as accentuated, because it has these nice notches in here for the actual contour of the item that will actually help it stay there. So you can do a little bit of like a raised look to it. And that might work too. But the cut itself is actually just shy of that bottom of the staff there. So I might bring that up to acrylicbases.net as well. But regardless, still makes it look really cool. And from Last Crusade, Kazim. These stands really do look good, so hats off. Want to correct myself. The feet may not need to go all the way to the bottom of the base to be effective. They may not even have been designed that way, so please disregard what I said about some of the feet not actually going all the way to the bottom. They're still standing, right? So that's what matters. All right, a quick pause here. I just wanted to point out that I didn't notice this until I was editing this video, but the display base here for Kazim actually has the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark logo on it, and not the one from the Last Crusade. So I reached out to Robert Mays at acrylicbases.net and asked him if I could send him some money to redo the base for me, because I checked on the website and it's accurate to what's on the website. The website shows that model with the Raiders of the Lost Ark logo, but he happily and quickly agreed to redo it for me, and it's already in the mail and on the way to me. So I just wanted to point out that the logo was wrong, and that the customer service from Robert Mays at acrylicbases.net was very good, and I should have that in my hands sometime in the near future. All right, back to the review. And the man, the myth, the legend, Indiana Jones himself, from Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's a beautiful display. The cutout over here for the whip is amazing. I mean, it didn't come out of the package in that shape, so the fact that the designer actually made this into that shape is really awesome. It was fun putting that in there and getting it to hold that, be in that position. The only thing that didn't fit very well, these hands, you have to put them in this way, which is actually left and right reversed, because I tried to put them in the other way with the palms facing toward the camera so that you could maintain a left and right relationship, like top and bottom here. I mean, like the top up here. But the cutouts are made for the hands to be in these positions, so they have to go that way. The idol itself here is actually not fitting snug into that cutout, so I had to use a little bit of what they call museum wax, and well, it actually is a brand called Museum Wax, and Amazon.com is where I got this myself, and that stuff can be used to hold action figures on shelves and stuff like that too, but I just put a little bit on the base of that idol and put it in there, and you can't even really tell, right? So that was an easy little fix there. And finally, probably the best known relic from the Indiana Jones movie series. This is a beautiful display for making the Ark look even more spectacular, putting it on its proper, pun not intended, pedestal. Yeah, it is nice looking, very nice looking. These posts are not secured as far as not being like friction fit in the post holes. But if you really want those to be solid in there, I'm sure you can just use a little bit of some kind of glue. I'm not going to tell you what because I'm not sure. But, perhaps if you need that advice, you can hit up acrylicbases.net to actually find out what they recommend. One interesting thing that I just noticed is that these posts are actually not symmetrical as far as the distance from the edges. That is interesting. Oh well. Still looks really nice. Thank you all for joining me on this Indiana Jones Adventure Series adventure with these acrylic stands from acrylicbases.net. If you liked what you saw, go check them out. I think they're cool, and they do add a level of class with that glass, even though it's just acrylic. But it looks really nice. So that's it, and until next time, adventure on, and happy collecting, everybody.